the times to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly.
A desperate group of United States Army veterans marches to Washington and demands the bonus promised them. The United States Army repels the ship of Colonel Douglas MacArthur. Tons of food are dumped into rivers while hungry people look on. A new fraternity is born, the brotherhood of the newly impoverished and those who have known nothing else but poverty. Still, the President is confident.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive and will prosper.
And in 1932, 2 American women are born, each to her own special fate. The year of their birth is bleak. A reeling nation can make no guarantees of happiness for the children of the Depression. President Roosevelt's words are brave. Nothing to fear but fear itself. But are they also true?
Flying high, touch the sky, going to places
Children grow up. The Depression is a bad memory to an automated, computerized, space-age nation. The year of her birth, 1932, was a year of bread lines, shuttered, deserted offices, the wind whistling through farmhouses, a gray company of migrant workers shuttling back and forth across the continent. But in 35 years, Mrs. Hedgepath has moved only 35 steps from the house where she was born in Durham, North Carolina. The times have changed. America the Beautiful is America the Rich. Once we were poor, but no longer. The Depression is history, and history we all know is dead stuff. Now, only 34 million Americans are poor. Only 34 million citizens of our United States lack the means for the American way of life.
Come on, kids.
Being poor in a wealthy nation, she and her family are out of step with the times.
Arthur's a shoe repairman. He works in a shoe shop. He likes to be his own boss. He likes to stand on his own 2 feet. He has an awful lot of willpower, and he'd much rather just do everything he can for himself. Her hand is a typist at a recreation center after school. I don't think she can pinpoint what she really wants or what she wants to do. She's anxious to be on her own and make it, I think, but I don't know if that's all of it or not. Irene is one person you don't have to worry about. Irene will always take care of herself, because she will work, and she knows how to handle a dollar, and that's the least of my worries, Irene. Lionel, he's very spoiled, and he's a mama's baby, and he's quite young yet, so you can't very well tell what may happen with him. Audrey, she's a little independent to a point. She's more or less quiet, much quieter than Lionel. I don't know exactly how you would describe Audrey, because she's a sweet child.
We would like to remind all you folks about the revival tonight at the Greater St. Paul's Baptist Church on Juniper Street. The prayer meeting starts at 7 p.m. and the revival service starts at 7:30. Everyone is encouraged.
Yeah, the thing is very good speaking. I would like to hear. Happy mouth, Audrey. Give Lionel a napkin. Okay, Q, let's go before you're late. Come on. Come on. Everybody loves Kim. Kim is a waterhead baby, and nobody's ever tired of doing anything for Kim. Even when the children complain about other things you ask them to do, you can always say, do something for Kim, and it's no fuss. As a matter of fact, they were glad that he belonged to us instead of to some other family that wouldn't take care of him. Oh, boy, look at this mess.
Well, just get ready. Go to work before I miss that book.
Okay.
A statistic. Latest census figures show that over 34 million Americans wake up each day in poverty, about 1 out of every 6 Americans. In a burst of concern for these Americans, Congress passed laws providing for a war on poverty. But already there is a backlash.
If they wanted work, they could get a job.
Just a giveaway program.
It's just for the niggers.
Wasting taxpayers' money.
I know one shiftless son of a gun who lives right around
Stand on their own 2 feet like me.
Giveaway.
Well paid.
Good.
Well.
But who are they talking about?
Yeah, my father got killed when I was about 4 years old, and Mama died when I was 10. My aunt took care of me, financially. She bought all my clothes and things for me. But I lived in my grandmother's house. And I felt like I was a problem enough to everybody, so getting married would solve part of the problem, which was a childish way of thinking about it, but that's the way I saw it, Being 15 years old, and with a lot of problems and a lot of things on my mind, too much for a 15-year-old, I suppose. And what looked good, getting married looked like the best solution, and I took that solution. And the doctor said he wasn't going to walk at all, but he did. And he told him, when he told him that, he said, you got to be crazy. So I'm going to live to be 100 and I'm going to walk. Yeah, but he got up and walked. Because if he had given up, I'm sure he wouldn't have walked, because it took everything he had in him to do so.
The other child of the Depression. Unlike Mrs. Hedgepath, she's kept pace with an increasingly prosperous country. Born in comfort, she remains secure. House, car, and a maid.
Okay, Nadia. Here's Fanny. Let's go.
These 2 American women live in different worlds, but their lives touch at this one point.
Hi, Fanny. We may be a little late tonight. Nadia has to go to the dentist.
Well, that's all right, as long as you're back in time for me to go to church meeting.
Well, we'll do our best. Bye, buddy.
You gonna wave bye-bye to Mama? Wave bye-bye. Wave bye-bye. Would you like to go in and make a cake? Hello? Yes? Oh, yes, I was going to come by the store, but I haven't had the chance. I don't have your money today, but I'll bring it up there Monday if it's okay. Yes, but I had to see the doctor for a checkup, and I'm a little short right now. Well, I can bring it on Monday. All right, you'll get your money on Monday. Bye. Hello?
Is this Miss Hedgepath?
Yes.
This is Brown's Furniture. I believe your payment was due day before yesterday.
I was going to come by the store.
Well, we like to keep our books in order, and you agreed to pay us each month by this day.
Yes, but I had a...
Well, I know you've been pretty regular with your payments so far, but we don't want anything to go wrong.
I can bring it on Monday.
Just make sure you do.
All right, you'll get your money on Monday.
Bye now.
If they wanted work, they could get a job.
Just a giveaway program.
It's just for the niggers.
Wasting taxpayers' money.
I know one shiftless son of a gun who lives right around
stand on their own 2 feet like me. Giveaway.
Well paid.
I can remember now thinking back to it. When I was little, Mom used to always say, do whatever you can for yourself, and then when you're stranded and can't do anything, other people won't mind helping you some, you know, but when you just sit around and wait for somebody to do everything, nobody wants to help you, you know.
Author James Agee wrote of the poor woman, "How is it to be calculated, the number of times she has done these things, the number of times she is still to do them, the accumulated weight of these actions upon her, and what it has made of her mind, and of her heart, and of her being?"
4 rooms and a bath, that's about it. And we pay the rent by the week. There's a lot of things wrong with it. The floors are not much good, the steps about to fall down, and the pipes leak all over the place, and the roof leaks. Needs painting, the wallpaper's hanging off. Oh boy, when it's cold, boy, it's just as cold, just about as cold in the house as it is outside, because you can sit there and feel the air coming in on you. Roaches, mice, place is swamped with them, you know. You kill 10 and 10 more show up. Matter of fact, you go out at night and you run over those big ones out there like kittens running around in the backyard. Well, in the daytime, I like to look at soap operas. I like those things. Crazy, confusing, but I like to look at them.
Doctor, you've got to tell me the truth.
Now, just relax, Mrs. Hall. You must relax.
Is it serious, Doctor?
Well, there have been some complications in your case.
Oh, God, I knew it.
Now, it's nothing terminal. But I do think we should operate as soon as possible.
Oh.
Now, it's a simple operation. A very simple operation.
About 1.5 years ago, I had to have an operation for cancer. I was out of work for about 5 months, which made it pretty hard around my house because I was more than half of the support of the family. And my husband had to try to make ends meet with what little he had. And I had to go back to work a couple of months before I was really able to go back, and before the doctors wanted me to go back, because it was pretty hard watching him struggle and trying to make ends meet. And it wasn't helping me and to sit there and worry about things that I couldn't do anything about. So I felt it would be better if I'd gone back to work.
But what about welfare? Aren't the poor getting a free ride on welfare paid for by our taxes?
But welfare department wouldn't help us at all with our financial problem there. By the end of the 5 months I was out of work, they did come up with, say, $23 a month they would give us. But that was the week before I came back to work, which it didn't make any difference anymore then.
Cleanses your complexion to its youthful glow. You will find this new cream so refreshing and useful that you will notice the difference almost immediately.
A sharp, bright, freezing January day. We welcome our young president.
The world is very different now, for man holds in his mortal hands the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life.
A new president. Different Americans. But still the cruel problem. Who speaks for me? Who speaks to me? From an ocean of prosperity, they get scattered drops if they're lucky. He too cared. His first official act as president was to put into effect a food stamp program for starving Americans. He cared.
If a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich.
He cared. Now he is gone, and the slow journey of those 34 million Americans continues.
And Audrey likes to come over here. She says the reason that she can't get a house like Nodges is because her dad is crippled and he can't make money like Nodges. Daddy makes money, so she can't get a house like Nodges. Yeah, she figured that one out for herself.
Hey, Fanny, I got my toothpick.
Okay, your dad is inside waiting for you.
At 5:30 each working afternoon, Mrs. Hedgepath rides home in a sports car. She has spent the day in a pleasant house, paying for her time there with the sweat of her body and another day of her life. Each evening she returns to her own home to perform the same tasks, this time for her own family. In between, there is space to calculate the odds on whether her children will repeat the life she has led.
Audrey did have to repeat the first grade, even though she did go to a Head Start class. It helped her to be more independent, and it did teach her to concentrate some, but I don't think she got as much out of it as I expected her to, and in a way, maybe that wasn't enough time to give her the foundation she needed for the first grade, really. The youth corps was a great help for Hannah because she managed to get a job, which otherwise she might not have gotten. This has been a big help to her and to me, but even though she is working at it, it's still not enough money she can save up to, help send her to college.
On the day you were married, James Agee wrote, a key is turned with a sound not easily audible, and you are locked between the stale earth and the sky, and there is nothing conceivable for which it can afford to stop, short of your death, which is a long way off.
a mighty long way. Through trouble, the Lord has brought me. Through heartaches, the Lord has brought me. I wonder, do you know what I'm talking about? Have I got a witness? I said, have I got a witness? Oh, yes, sir.
Our young adult choir.
The church is, for this woman, more than just a promise of a better world to come by and by.
I got to move my furniture around, move my
In the church basement, she meets with her friends in a neighborhood council to work for a better life here and now.
And they have been promising us since last winter they were going to do something about it, but nothing has been done yet. And I've even called the inspector and talked to him, and he knows what a cruel mess that is in there, you know. And he keeps saying, this is about 3 weeks ago now. Something is going to get on the way now. I haven't even seen anybody bring the shingles out. They bring an armful of shingles out and lay it out there, at least make me think they're going to do something, you know. Nothing. Not anything.
Neighborhood councils are important in themselves. They are equally significant for what they suggest, that the poor can identify their problems better than anyone else, that they are capable of offering helpful solutions to poverty problems, that given time and encouragement, the poor will work together for a better life. In short, neighborhood councils suggest that the poor can be assimilated into democracy.
All right, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Okay.
You want your dog?
Yeah.
Now go to sleep.
What you live with and see and touch is real and silent. Sometimes the voices of promise intrude.
But the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
If a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich.
And these enemies too, poverty, disease, and ignorance, we shall overcome.
And the promising voices die, and you are left again with what you have. And with this, you must somehow get by.
There have been lots of times I felt like throwing up both hands and walking out on everything. But looking at the children can always change that. And the fact that they're not giving up and they're trying to do what they can to make things better, you know, that kind of helps a little. Between the children and the fact that I believe in praying, that kind of keeps me going. To me, it's a lot of consolation in prayer. Maybe the situation doesn't change in a hurry, but you feel better about it and you're more able to cope with what's in front of you, you know. That's the way I see it. I don't have enough sense to give up trying. I keep hoping anyway. Yeah, I keep hoping. I don't know, maybe one day, who knows.
Work hard and obey the law, and the benefits of the American way of life are yours. This promise has failed for Mrs. Hedgepath and for the millions like her who are locked out of the rewards our society offers. The poor have lost faith in promises. Some sink into a dead despair. Others destroy with indiscriminate fury the rewards they can never have. Still others, like Mrs. Hedgepath, live in ragged houses, eat cheap food, earn less, and die sooner. Our nation has the means to enable our citizens to live in dignity. But so far we have offered tokens, a handful of programs, a trickle of money, sporadic bursts of concern, but not so far the will required to eliminate poverty. She doesn't yet trust the anti-poverty movement. She and other millions of working poor suspect that it is just another promise. So Mrs. Hedgepath reserves judgment and waits. And while she waits, she works. And although she works, she remains poor.